radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke Radio. For the masses. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. How you doing? That's the question. It's Monday. It's Monday, April 8th, 2019. 98 days into the new year, just 267 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Monday. I'm in a great mood. Got a great week lined up in front of us. Tonight, Billy Carson is here for part 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets. That's right. Tonight is Time is an Illusion. Time is an illusion. Tomorrow night, Adam Curry is here. Finally, Adam Curry. Trying to get this guy on the show for 5 years. Adam Curry is here for the first time discussing his research in the collective consciousness and the Mandela effect. That will be tomorrow night. Very talented guy, and very excited about that. And then Wednesday night, another first-time guest. That's right, MJ Banias is here. We're going to talk about his new book, The UFO People. And it's not what you think. Nope, it's good, man. It is good. I read it over the weekend. It is so good. And he's a great writer. And there you go. Okay. And researcher, too, as well. So that'll be Wednesday night. MJ is here. And I love it when we have first-time guests. And I'm serious. Not only MJ and Adam, but anytime it happens, we've got a long list of guests that we're trying to get to every single month. It's not easy. We only have so many shows per month and so many guests. But when we get to first-time guest, it's the best. Just like a first-time caller. You know, it is so cool when we do that. So we're going to do that twice this week. Adam Curry and MJ Banias. Now, where am I at? Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Yeah, that's what you want to do. The sandbox is hashtag F2B. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Facebook, YouTube, everything is right there at jimmychurchradio.com. You can also email throughout the show. Now, I want to make a little announcement because it's a really cool one before I get to the breaking news. I had some fun over the weekend. And now, there's some pictures of Serena's birthday party. We did that yesterday. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Everybody that was there, it was so much fun. But no, not that. Not that. On Friday, this guitar right here, right? The Strat, I put new pickups in it. That's right. And I put in, and I want to thank Seymour Duncan. They sent me some Yngwie pickups. They sent me the YJM Furies. And this is what I did. I'm a little sneaky. So I put them in. But here are the old pickups. These are the stock Fenders, right? That came out. That's a stock Fender pickup right there. But what I did is I took the pickup covers off of the YJMs. If you look really close, you can see there's a YJM on that. See that for Yngwie J. Malmsteen, right? You got that? So I took those off and I put the stock Fender covers on the Yngwies. That thing came to life, man. That guitar sounds amazing. So anyway, so I did that, and I feel a little guilty because Seymour and Mike Hatzinger specifically out there, Kevin Harvey too as well. Mike Hatzinger and I used to work together at another company. Now he's over at Seymour, and he hooked me up. But I took the covers off. Is that right? You know what I mean? I feel a little guilty because anybody that plays that guitar, man, they're going to go, whoa, dude, this thing, wow, Fender's really got it together these days. Yeah, I guess they do, don't they? So anyway, the Yngwie pickups are in there, and these are the covers, and I'm cheating and lying, and there you go. But because I did that, and I am susceptible to that kind of deception, it doesn't mean I dye my hair. I do not dye my hair. Okay? All right? All right. So there you go. Okay. I tell you what, they just sound so good. I want to do them to all of the guitars. All right. Now let's get to the breaking news. We found out about this last week, and we held off on announcing it until today. Brandon McMahon, one of the original Fadernauts, and Brandon McMahon. Brandon was the Fadernaut that called in the night that we had a puppy. We had rescued a puppy. And we said, any Fadernaut here in Los Angeles, and you want a puppy? We have a puppy. Can you, and adopt? And Brandon called in and adopted that puppy and named the puppy Spoon. And for those of you that were around 3 years ago, that was on February 11th, 2016. Remember that. It was a fantastic night. And that was on a Thursday. And then Rita and I the next day drove down to Brandon's house and took him Spoon and a gift bag and all of that stuff. And it was a wonderful, just a great, amazing, fantastic day to do that. Well, Brandon passed away. Brandon McMahon passed away last Thursday and had a long struggle with health issues, which we've known about. And he actually had messaged me in Facebook. I'm tearing up right now, but excuse me. So he messaged me last month and said, "Hey, dude, I want to call in this Thursday." And I wrote him back and I said, "All right, man, cool. Well, right after that, he went into the hospital and didn't come out. He lost his struggle, and that was last Thursday. So, Brendan, you were with us from the very beginning of the show, and I hope you're listening right now, my brother. And I hope that you figured stuff out. All right, okay. Rest in peace, Brendan McMahon. Okay. Moving on. Oh, there's a picture of Brent. See, right there. That's Spoon. And look at Brent. I have never seen somebody so happy to get a puppy. I mean, it's a puppy picture with a friend that has just passed away. And if that doesn't get you all choked up, right? But that was a great, great day right there. And thank you for posting that, Eric. And there you go. All right. Yeah, it was harsh. And it was just one of those things as we found out the news, I just couldn't, it's one of those things you refuse to believe. But he was 32 years old. He was 29 years old in this picture here. I'm going to retweet this and get this up there. So excuse me for a second. There you go. Let me get this up. Thank you for letting me do this, everybody. Okay. All right. Okay, I got that up there, and yeah, it was just one of those perfect days, and Brendan was lucky because Rita wanted to turn the car around. She fell in love with Spoon on the way down to his house, but we couldn't do that to Brendan. And there you go. And he sent us pictures constantly of Spoon growing up over the last 3 years. And one of the things he said, this is about 6 months ago, he said that Spoon, and I don't know how he figured this out, Spoon loved heavy metal music and Harley Davidsons, right? There you go. Rest in peace, Brendan. Rest in peace, my man. Okay. All right. On Friday, this past Friday, on April 5th, and I posted the pictures of it up on YouTube, and I think I did it on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook today. Clusters of purple, blue, and yellow lights appeared in Norway's night sky. And as they hovered there was an eerie glow around them. There's two clusters, like flowers, like daisies. It was a pretty amazing formation that was up there, but it caused this reaction out there if this was aliens or not. Well, as it turns out, this is NASA saying that it wasn't aliens. NASA is saying, literally said that it was a new rocket system from Norway that was launched to study the flow of winds in Earth's upper atmosphere. The project is called Azure, or the Auroral Zone Upwelling Rocket Experiment. Okay, so that's their explanation of it, and there you go. You can either buy into it or not. It's oh man, I don't know. It probably isn't aliens, but why do they got to see it's vapor? Or it's this, and and they do it during this spectacular Northern Lights demonstration, and everybody is posting the pictures now. Yeah, that's even every time I look at that, I'm just like, man, vapors, swamp gas. Okay, anyway, everybody's reactions to it have been pretty negative. I saw Corby. Look, I've got NASA's full thing. I read their full report on the program on what is going on. I get that. I understand it. I do. Okay. So anyway, the announcement was today that it wasn't aliens. There are the pictures. I'll leave it up to all of you. Well, here we go. 13 wealthy parents, including actress Felicity Huffman, and one coach pled guilty to using bribery and other forms of fraud as part of the college admissions scandal. And this was all announced today in Boston by federal prosecutors. Huffman, the desperate housewife star, pleaded guilty to paying $15,000 to a fake charity associated with Rick Singer to facilitate cheating for her daughter on the SATs. And here's the thing. Here's the thing for me. Okay, there are reports now that some of these parents are going to get jail time, and first-time offender and all of that is going to be reduced sentences. I get it. Maybe most of them won't do any jail time at all. I think they should. I actually do. All right? This is the one time these rich people have gotten caught. Okay? That's it. That's it. This time around, they got caught. Now they're sorry about it. Okay? And here's the thing. Huffman says her daughter didn't know a thing. Let me tell you where the crime is. And I believe that her daughter probably didn't know, right? But let me tell you where the crime is. This means that her daughter thought she got in on her own merits. And that Huffman lied and lied and lied to her daughter. Looked straight at her. Oh, I can't believe I got into college. Yeah, neither can we. Right? Good for you, honey. You did great on those SAT. You did great. Think about that. Just lied. You know, that's what I have issues with. And to I'm sorry for the pain. You lied over at every single time your daughter said, man, I love school. You lied to her. So, yeah, 12 months, federal pen, seriously, if all of these parents get off, all of them, if they all get a fine, and supervised release, some crazy, stupid thing, house arrest, whatever. If that's what happens, then there's nothing. No, they're spending, $100, $200, $300, $500,000, $1 million on this. What's a $20,000 fine to Felicity Huffman? That's nothing. That's a day's shopping. That's an hour shopping on Rodeo Drive for Felicity. She doesn't care about $20,000. She doesn't care about no. That's my thing. I'm a little bit angry about all of this. Also, today, Stanford University expelled a student who put false material in their college application and was linked to a $500,000 donation. $500,000. Unbelievable. And I'm telling you, I just think that except for the coaches. Now, look, we're talking about $25 million that went somewhere. Somebody lied all over the place on their taxes. A lot of people did. All right? Took these huge bribes. What's going to happen to them? Now, will they do prison time? I don't know, man. I don't know. This whole thing. Actress, also today, speaking of actors, right? Actress Allison Mack has pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy and racketeering related to her alleged role in a sex trafficking case. That's right. We heard about this last year. As part of her guilty plea, Mack admitted to state law extortion and forced labor for the sex cult NXIVM. Yeah. Unreal day in the news. Okay. All right. On that note, I'm still in a great mood. Get the Surfer music streaming app. Download it today. Just go over to jimmychurchradio.com. It's very simple to do. All you got to do is click and download it. You don't have to register. You don't have to give up your private information, email, nothing like that. All you're going to do is download it and start using it. Start listening to your favorite music right now. Click on the banners over at jimmychurchradio.com or go to surfr.fm. That is surfer.fm. It's Apple, it's Android, it's there, it downloads, and you just start listening. That's it. Super easy, super fun, super simple. It's really that cool. Man, I better move these pickups. You keep these things around, your credit cards erase, your phone stops working. These are frigging magnets. I've just got them sitting here like it's nothing. Maybe I'll put them on the floor. Erase the floor. Erase the floor. Our next event is coming up next month, which is Contact in the Desert. Billy Carson tonight is going to be at Contact in the Desert. Billy's also going to be at our Soul Tech conference. Tomorrow night, Adam Curry's here. He's going to be at Contact in the Desert. Contact in the Desert is May 31st through June 3rd in Indian Wells, Palm Springs, California at the Renaissance Indian Wells Resort and Spa. Tickets and info are over at contactinthedesert.com. And then coming up right after that is our 2019 Soul Tech 2.0. That's right. That is over the July 4th weekend at the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. All you have to do is go to soultechgathering.com. Everything is there, full conference schedule, speakers, events, nighttime stuff, of course, accommodations, food. Everything that you need is right there at soultechgathering.com. It's going to be great. Also, check out our Soultech official page, Soultech Gathering Official over on Facebook. Lots of great information there, and a lot of the speakers are posting stuff up, and so you can go and check it out right there on Facebook. All right, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. It is just $2 per month. Go to the podcast banner, Jimmy Church Radio, and also, you want to become an official Fade or Not, and you can do that in our membership section over at jimmychurchradio.com. Don't forget about all of our sponsors here. That's how this show goes on every single night. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today. GNR OG Original Gangsta Izzy Stradlin today is 57. Patricia Arquette is 50. True romance. Did you know Patricia Arquette married Nick Cage? They met at Cantor's Deli, home of Guns N' Roses, right here on Fairfax. Met Nick Cage at Cantor's Deli, and in 1995, he proposed to her that day. That's a fact. They were married from 1995 all the way to 2001. Patricia Arquette is 50. On this day in history, 1990, big day, Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks premieres on ABC. That's right. And from that day forward, it was Who Killed Laura Palmer. And David Lynch sets the standard for strange TV. And it all kicked off on this day in 1990. Fader fact. In South Korea, this is a fact. In South Korea, there is an emergency phone number to report spies. That's right. Spies. And the number is 113. That is your Fader fact. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. All right, part 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And tonight, it's Time is an Illusion. Tomorrow night, Adam Curry is here for the first time, and he will be discussing his research into the collective consciousness and the Mandela effect. Wednesday night, UFO researcher and author MJ Benias is here, and we're going to talk about his new book, and it is called The UFO People. And it's an amazing book. I have read it. I think Rita's read it too. Man, what's the deal? I got something in my throat again tonight. Thursday night's another Fader night with open lines all night long. Okay, let me hit this coffee. Got something in my throat. All right. So last year I laid it out for everyone about the coming storm in ufology. And it's like this. It was funny how everyone had reacted and speculated about what I was talking about. Still are today. I think there's a lot out there that didn't fully understand, and you couldn't. So it didn't matter. I just warned everybody about what was about to happen. Now, today you get it, or at least you think you do, more or less, okay? But here's the truth. There's still more to come, and the real stuff hasn't surfaced yet. And as it does, I'll talk more about it in the weeks and months ahead, and as it all starts to unravel and start to expose itself, it's going to get pretty ugly. But it's also going to be awfully fun to watch for a lot of reasons. But over the weekend, I was speaking with a few different people about, what is going on and what is really going on. And we were talking about the past. And you see, it's like this. We've been through this before and we survived it. This time around, it's a little bit different. Let me explain, okay? In the case of individuals possibly ruining their careers because of character flaws and ego, well, that's really not that big of a deal. Okay? It's something that we just move on from. And then they quickly become a footnote in UFO history. Okay? Whatever. People come and go. All right? And that's generally going to be the case here. But this is a little bit different this time around. In cases like, if you think about it, like William Moore, it gets a little more difficult because he was actually an asset of the government. He was collecting and spreading disinformation. The who or what around him and everything that he did, wrote about, exposed, produced, spoke about, all of it becomes a big question mark. And we've got to go back and analyze that. And he was instrumental in bringing Roswell forward. And that just throws a question mark on everything, even on Roswell, if you think about it. Okay? Now, so today we have something very similar. We do. And it's not what you think. I, of course, am speaking about TTSA. And what I'm worried about, and always have been, is too much trust, putting in faith too quickly into what is actually going on. And that part makes me nervous. The reason for that is I'm talking about the man, putting your trust in the man. Right? Yeah, Nick just said, which faction of ufology is this storming? This is everywhere. And the reason why, and if you listen to what I'm trying to say here, is that when you put trust in the man, it's the very people that we should never trust. Never, ever, ever, ever trust. You don't trust the CIA. You don't trust the Defense Intelligence Agency. You don't trust the Pentagon. You say, what? You don't do it. All right? But here's the trippy thing. That's who is propping up TTSA. And I have spoken to some people that I really admire, right, that have seriously drunk the Kool-Aid when it comes to TTSA. It really trips me out. And what I'm really worried about is that if this whole thing tips over and sinks, where are we? And are we going to recover from that? Will we recover this time around? As bad as the Bill Moore thing was, and it was really, really, really bad, we managed to get our feet under us pretty quickly. This could be a little different. Okay, and I'm not really sure when you think about the size of the media influence of TTSA, the books and the TV series, and probably a documentary is coming out, and all the the influence of the media with TTSA. But then again, Bill Moore sold a lot of books. And Bill Moore spoke at every single UFO conference on the schedule all year long for years. So his influence and his effect on ufology was broad and it was heavy. And we recovered from that. So if TTSA tips over and sinks, the same people that had all that faith in Bill Moore and managed to recover from that, maybe the same thing will happen this time around. I don't know. I can't predict the future, but I'm telling you, this is going to be just going to come completely unraveled. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Our guest tonight is Billy Carson. He's on deck. Tonight is week 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Tonight it is Time is an Illusion. It's Faded Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back with tonight's guest, Mr. Billy Carson. Forbidden Knowledge, right here on Faded Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back. Stay with me.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Billy Carson. It's part 3 of our 4-part series. That's right, tomorrow night, Adam Curry is here. Wednesday night, MJ Benias. Thursday night's another Fader night. Open lines all night long. Tonight, it's Billy. This is part 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. We've been broadcasting this over the last 3 consecutive weeks. Next week will be our last week. It'll be part 4, which is the Emerald Tablets and the Fractal Holographic Universe. Tonight, it's Time is an Illusion. Billy is the founder of Forbidden Knowledge, the author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, and the expert host on Deep Space. It's a new original series on Gaia. His Forbidden Knowledge has over 2 million followers and subscribers throughout social media. And he is also the CEO of First Class Space Agency based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And he is also the founder of Pantheon Elite Records, a contributor to Thrive Global, and is a registered international journalist. I would like to welcome back to Fade to Black, Billy Carson. Oh, Billy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Jimmy.
What is cracking, man?
Oh, man, what an amazing day. A lot of great things going on, a lot of huge interest in the space agency, and some funding coming in to start to fund some of these perpetual motion generators that we're looking to develop and build, as well as the alternative propulsion systems that we're looking to develop as well. So to take it off of paper and get it to a small scale and then work on ramping up. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I saw your posting earlier. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, the First Class Space Agency is a space agency that I started in 2014, and we don't have launch capability. What we're doing is research and development into these perpetual motion devices and free energy devices that can literally give you the ability, whether if you're going into space, to generate self-circulating power, or if you're now, of course, a citizen of the planet in a third world country or in an area that's rural, you can connect one of these generators to wherever you are, and without having to use any gas or oil, you can actually power your small house, charge up your laptop, your cell phones. Right now we have it where it can charge up, turn on a light bulb, charge a cell phone. That's as powerful as we can get it right now. But now with the funding that's going to be coming in, this injection of funding, I'll be able to get some really key top engineers, and we're going to develop this thing and put some more gears and torque into it and really get it ready to power small houses, which is going to be huge.
Now, the U.S. Patent Office really poo-poos on perpetual motion machines, right? Mm-hmm. That's it. Yep. They don't even read those patents. How are you approaching this?
Yeah, it's very interesting. We have some connections with some other countries right now. We're dealing with 7 different countries. So it's probably going to start out there and work its way in. But also there are some available government contracts for the, I don't like to call them 0-point energy, but that's the term that everybody really recognizes. It's really almost like a device that uses wafers to basically absorb the energy directly out of the atmosphere and converts it through this process, a chemical process, which I can't name, internally to create electricity. So those type of generators or power sources are definitely welcomed here. And I've already been looked at many times and have value. Some have different versions of that, have patents already that have been established.
Well, so it's not a perpetual motion energy machine then?
There's 2. One is perpetual motion and one is working off of a chemical interface.
Right.
So, yeah, the perpetual motion runs off of very powerful magnets.
Right.
And the other one runs off of basically a mixture of different chemicals and gases directly out of the atmosphere.
Okay. Well, that's exciting stuff. And if there was more effort, with those that not only have the money but that have the ability to change the world and what's going on with, half of the world's population lives at poverty or below. And if there was just a small amount of focus in that area, everything could be fixed and taken care of. And for some reason, nobody cares. It's people like us that care, but I don't have a spare bill, a spare billion lying around. But you know what? Those that do don't care. It's really, really strange. I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that, and let's hope for the best on this, and you know that you've got our support, and of course with this community too as well. So here we go. We're kicking off. This is week number 3 of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth series that we've been doing here, and I'm very excited about tonight. And which a month ago when we started to lay all of this stuff out, tonight was one of the nights I was really anticipating. And you know, time in any aspect is one of the most fascinating things that we can talk about. Everything comes into play when we talk about time. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. Before we get started, let's do a little Emerald Tablets of Thoth primer for everybody. What are the Emerald Tablets?
The Emerald Tablets are a group of tablets that were written by Thoth the Atlantean. He was an Atlantean priest king, is what they called him, that ruled over the ancient land of Kem for about 14,000 years in the very distant past. And before he left to wherever he went, he left these emerald tablets with this writing on them. And this writing dates back to around 36,000 years. And in this writing, as you read it, you begin to realize that the majority of your religions of the world have copied a lot of the information directly out of these tablets and utilize it in their own religious text and context. And not only them, but other very famous people have taken it. Very famous authors, Roger Bacon, D'Oreal, the Queen of Sheba, Isaac Newton, St. Thomas Aquinas. There's just a huge list of people that have come across these tablets over the last few hundred years that have had a chance to take a look at them, decipher them, and it even inspired them to write their own books based on the Emerald Tablets as well. So these are some very, very deep, esoteric writings that also incorporate metaphysics, quantum mechanics, and also just an overall teaching of life and how to ascend to higher dimensions of thought and consciousness. And I highly recommend this reading for every single person on this planet, because if everybody followed what's in these tablets, this world would be a totally different place.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the interpretation and the translation of the tablets and what one has extrapolated from these tablets over the past, it's been varied, right? Not everybody reads it the same way and interprets it the same way. And to get into time travel, time is an illusion. You've got a complete chapter in here. It's called the Key of Time. I'm holding it up for the camera right there. Where this is, and you start off with what was written on this particular tablet about time. Why didn't others pick up on the time element from the Emerald Tablets?
You know, it's a very good question. It's kind of like the tablets, they synchronize with you on a frequency that you're vibrating at and what your interests are. So some people may be more interested in the astral projection aspect. Some people may be more interested in some of the more technical aspect of the tablets. Some people may be more interested in the alchemy that has been embedded in the tablets and some of the secret esoteric messages. Because of me doing the forbidden knowledge and how I got so big was the fact that I've covered so many different topics, so many broad topics that a lot of people have come to me to read my content and check out my stuff, because it's not just focused on one area. Whereas some of the people that may have gone through this before may have been more focused on one particular aspect, but I've trained myself to open myself up to all different areas and topics of interest for many different types of people, including different races and everything else. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have become so popular with what I've put online. And that may be the reason why, maybe I'm vibrating on the frequency where I was able to see this and kind of grasp it a little bit.
Now, okay, so let's discuss time then. Let's get straight to it. There are many. I've listened to so many scientists and physicists and philosophers discuss time, and it's a tough subject. It's what time actually is. Depending on who you ask, you're going to get a different. Michio Kaku's tried, Neil deGrasse, Stephen Hawking, Einstein have all tried to figure out a clear definition of time, and it's very, very tough. So let's start there, Billy. What is time?
Time, literally, for us in the third dimension, is a pathway that we use to guide ourselves towards the future. See, we can remember the past, but we can't remember the future in the third dimension. Only in the third, second, and first dimension. This is where the first, second, and third dimension are where time is actually required to offer structure to reduce some of the entropy that's going on in this realm and to give us a clear path. So basically, it's literally like a Planck unit after Planck unit, which is the smallest measurement of time you can literally have in the third dimension that we know of. A Planck unit after Planck unit of moments that literally allow us to progress what we call forward towards the arrow of time, to where we then, after we pass a certain point, we now have a memory of the past. And this is the simplest way that I can really explain what this arrow of time is in the third dimension, because outside of the third dimension, there is no arrow of time. If you transcend to the fourth dimension or higher, you will be able to see the past, present, and future happening all at once. And this is something that Thoth was able to do in the Emerald Tablets. He was able to witness the seven lords open up a gateway with this chant, this portal, and through that portal he saw a great cycle, and he was able to see the past, present, and the future. So it proves that time really is an illusion, but it's an illusion that's needed in the third dimension to give us a track and a path and guide us on our way, because in this dimension, time is actually required. It's a stationary thing that doesn't move, but we move through it. So it's really an amazing thing that is there, and it's been set up and structured to allow us to move from moment to moment.
Well, if we didn't have a way to measure time, a watch, some type of timekeeping device, we wouldn't know how much time has actually passed. In that time, an hour to one person, if they didn't have a watch or a way to observe it, an hour to one person is different to somebody else. To one person, an hour would seem to take forever. And then there are other times where an hour goes by in like what seems like minutes. And so it's completely relative. And if we didn't have a way to measure it, we wouldn't know how much has passed us.
That's true. And time is very relative, as you said. So basically what happens is everybody's clock ticks at a very different pace. Even though it's a very, very minute difference, there's a different pace. So in other words, a person on the ground walking, their clock is ticking at a different speed than the person that's in an airplane flying at 400 miles an hour.
Right.
And their clock is ticking different as somebody that's in a rocket ship blasting off to go to the moon or go to orbit or go into space. So when the astronauts return from the space station, their clocks are a few nanoseconds behind ours, proving that they've actually are a few nanoseconds younger than when they left. So, or their counterparts. So basically, time is moving relative to the person that's experiencing it. And the faster you move in time, it's weird because the slower time ticks. So it's got all these different weird relativity aspects to it. That's not just a straight, okay, my watch is set to this, your watch is set to that, and we meet here. We kind of meet at the same time, but there's still micro nanoseconds or Planck units off, versus being exactly the same based on what route we took to get to that point.
Well, and pretty much up until Einstein, the accepted thought was that time was the same everywhere you go in the universe, in the Milky Way here on Earth, that time was the same. And now, as it turns out, nothing could be further from the truth on that. And that time is different everywhere you go. I mean, it's a very, very strange thing. And even understanding that, right, we don't understand. We don't understand why it slows down. We don't understand why in some instances it could completely stop. We don't understand, certainly if you are traveling at the speed of light, and time at the speed of light, now time is standing still, it stops. But if you go over the speed of light, now you are traveling backwards. And you would actually be at a point in time before you left. Now that gets a little bit confusing for most people because it doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. It simply doesn't.
No, and I was analyzing that aspect of time as well, that time travel aspect, and one thing that I realized with it was that when you have these different paradoxes that can occur if you're going back in time. So if we were actually to be able to travel faster than the speed of light and start moving backwards in time, in my opinion now, after doing a lot of research, it seems like you're moving back in time, but you're not on the same exact timeline. You're in an alternate timeline, which would avoid some of the paradoxes that would prevent you from going back in time in the first place. So in other words, the grandfather paradox, where you go back in time, if you kill your grandfather, how were you ever born in the first place to go back in time?
Right.
Well, I believe that the reason why you can kill your grandfather if you go back in time is because you're on a totally different timeline, maybe in an alternate universe or a parallel universe. I don't think that you can travel back in time in the same exact universe that you're in, on the same timeline that you're in.
Yeah, my head starts to explode when I start to contemplate all of these different variables. And one of them is simply, if you exceed the speed of light and now you are back before you took off, well, wait a minute here, then who is out there flying? Is there now two of me? It's really that simple. That doesn't it doesn't make any sense. What if I put the brakes on the spaceship that put me back here, right? But I'm out there and I put the and I slow back down below the speed of light. Do I now disappear from where I am standing, looking at myself flying away?
Right. It's so bizarre.
It doesn't make any sense. But and I'm very curious. I would sign up for it. I would sign up for it. I would stand at the deck, at the helm of said starship, and I would go and I would exceed the speed of light. I would like to know what would happen at that point. I really would. It's like one of the biggest questions. It's some of the things that we just have to be able to put to bed and figure out. Now, okay, so we're going to head into a break here in a second. The title of tonight's show is Time is an Illusion. So let's start there. How is time an illusion, Billy?
It's an illusion because if anybody on this live remembers the movie Interstellar, where the gentleman was the father of the girl he ended up in a tesseract towards the end of the movie, where it's a fourth dimension, and he was looking at his daughter inside the house. He could see her at all her different ages, but she could only detect his frequency at different parts of the house. And basically what they're saying is time is past, present, and future all at once. And it's just like being in a house and being in different rooms in the same house at different times. It's all inside that one house. And that's what's happening in the third dimension. We're just occupying different rooms at particular times within our own little space here. But somebody from a higher dimension can see us in every single room at all the different times at once. And that's what's happening.
So Thoth wrote about this in the Emerald Tablets.
Yes.
And how would he have a grasp? I know he's all-knowing and he's the teacher and the judge and everything else, but 36,000 years ago, how would he know this?
This is amazing. This is why you got to read the Emerald Tablets, is because it's like this stuff is mind-blowing. How is these intricate concepts coming up so far in the past and being so dead spot on with modern day science and theories and everything else with real quantum physicists and people that are studying supersymmetry and everything else. So it boggles the mind to know that this entity, this being that wrote these tablets, was so in sync with what we now call advanced, sciences and so forth. So he was able to tap into or listen to the seven lords open up a portal, and they opened up this portal using a specific name that they were chanting while they were opening this portal to create a frequency. And when this portal opened, it opened different cycles of time, and he was able to peer into time from in a way he had never done before, and he was able to see all the cycles of the entire universe and how you can see everything happening all at once. And he was able to, at one point, to even travel in time. And this is why he wrote a lot of stuff in the Emerald Tablet that talked about what's going to happen to us in the future, because he started to see these cycles, and not only see them, but understand them, and even travel to some of them, get the future information, and then bring it back to us, and wrote it down on these tablets, which is amazing.
I can't believe you just said supersymmetry. I watched a few debates with these physicists and theoretical physicists and astrophysicists. Debate and string theorists debate supersymmetry. These guys, oh man. So it's another example of how much we really do not know. It's absolutely incredible to hear these guys debate supersymmetry, and there are physicists out there, very, very dedicated and decorated physicists that don't agree with supersymmetry. I can't even believe you just brought that up. All right, let's take a break right here. Tonight is part 3 of our 4-part series with Billy Carson on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Tonight we are discussing time. Is time an illusion? Next week will be part 4, and it's the Emerald Tablets and the Fractal Holographic Universe. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Introducing the new Surfer Music app. Listen, fade or not, you know I love my music. This is my go-to for all things notes. The Surfer app is a brand new concept in music listening. Surfer is free, providing unlimited access to thousands of live streaming radio stations. Surfer is an exciting, interactive listening experience. Discovery and surprise are built right in. Surfer is your destination to discover and rediscover great live streaming music. It features high-quality audio streams, free access to music from thousands of live streaming radio stations, unlimited listening, unlimited skipping. You get a music visualizer, and you can also select your favorite channels. Get it at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search Surfer Music or click on the Surfer banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. It's part 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. His book is called The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. We've got the links up right there to get the book, both on YouTube and Twitter. And, of course, you can go to Forbidden Knowledge, and the links are at jimmychurchradio.com. Billy, there's one. You've got this this particular tablet completely transcribed and in the book, but there is a couple of passages here that I want to read. They're short. One of them, and this is from page 162 at the bottom. Once in a past time, I spoke to the dweller and asked of the mystery of time and space, asked him the question that surged in my being, saying, "O Master, what is time?" And here's the answer. Then he spoke. He, the Master, he, know ye, O Thoth, in the beginning there was void and nothingness, a timeless, spaceless nothingness. And into the nothingness came a thought, purposeful and all-pervading, and filled the void. There existed no matter, only force, a movement, a vortex, or vibration of the purposeful thought that filled that void. Now, I don't care when this was written, right? I don't care. 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago. These are concepts that we are struggling with today. That is a very, very heavy passage, one that is questioning what time is, and from, how do I say this, from a mindset that shouldn't be thinking those thoughts so long ago. Very powerful.
Correct. And really what the master is saying there, he's talking about the first Hermetic principle, which is the principle of mentalism. And all is mind. And that's literally what, according to the Hermetic principles, created everything we have in the third dimension, consciousness. You know, we kind of talked about this at the Soul Tech 2018 when we were on the stage together talking about the 7 Hermetic principles, and that's actually principle number 1. So his answer to Thoth's question was principle number 1 of the Hermetic principles.
Now, and I wanted to ask you quite directly, who is the master here?
The master is actually Thoth-Me, who's also known as Enki, who's actually Thoth's dad. So his father is the master. And he was also a master geneticist as well.
Okay, and so he is the dweller?
He's the dweller of Undal. Yeah, that's his dad.
Okay. Now let's stay on this. Okay, you set it up in the last segment where Thoth spoke about vortexes and manipulating time and traveling. Mm-hmm. So let's start right there. Is this literal? In other words, physical?
This is physical and literal. Yes, he's traveling through time, utilizing these techniques that he witnessed with the 7 lords. And he's learned the verbal and vocalization techniques to open up portals, and he literally has traveled through time. There's a section in here. Let me just see where it says This is towards the top of the Key of Time in Emerald Tablet 10. This is page 161. He says, "Far through strange spaces have I journeyed into the depth of the abyss of time, until in the end all was revealed. Know ye that mystery is only mystery when it is knowledge unknown to man." So he's basically saying, just because you don't know it, it becomes a mystery. But once you know it, it's not a mystery anymore. Then he says, "When ye have plumbed the heart of all mystery, knowledge and wisdom will surely be thine. Seek ye and learn that time is the secret whereby ye may be free of this space."
Free of this space, which you referred to. Okay, so you spoke about that the past, present, and future are all at the same time. Is that what this is referring to?
That's exactly what it's referring to. Breaking out of the third dimension into higher dimensions. Which is it's incredible to talk about this, that many thousands of years ago.
Now, Cassandra just posted this. Well, it's about 10 minutes ago, but it was one of my next questions. And if I would have asked this, then she would have thought that I stole it from her. So I'll just go ahead and give her credit now. But she says, are they seeing us in past, present, and the future on this timeline, or are the past and the future on different timelines that could potentially merge with the present depending on choices one makes?
That is a fantastic question. Send her a book.
I know, right? All right.
Yeah, that's a fan. No, I really, what she's saying is so valid, because I truly do believe that there are entities and beings that are occupying higher dimensions, that are trying to aid and guide mankind toward a certain path to reach higher realms, and that they're waiting for us to grow up. People say, well, how come these things don't just pop up and just, show up at the house or show up on the White House lawn and so forth and so on? I really do believe that these higher level beings, these higher levels of consciousness, these light beings are waiting for mankind to get to a certain point in consciousness on this timeline. They can see the past, present, and future. They know that we have the capability and that we will ascend on the cycles that we're on, because everything operates in cycles. And they're trying to guide us maybe into another timeline where we head back into the golden age again. When you talk about the different yugas, the Kali Yuga, the Tetra Yuga, and all that. So I think that they're waiting for us, and they're nudging us little by little by dropping these seeds. We have an Emerald Tablet here. We have Sumerian tablets over there. We have the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, Indian Vedas. We have all these things that are coming together at the time on this timeline right now, where mankind has the capability and the technology and the understanding and wisdom to digest it, take it in, let it marinate, break it down, and learn how to understand it, which is what we're doing right now. And then that will automatically take our minds to a higher level of consciousness, maybe even ascend to another dimension consciously, which could then progressively move us into another timeline. And I think that's what these beings are waiting for. We've got 13 families ruling over 7.5 billion people on this planet. And that's a shame. Shame on us. We need to point the finger at ourselves. Stop blaming everybody else on the outside. We're the ones that allowed this to happen to us. We're the ones that allowed, yes, they have a very good system, don't get me wrong, but we have sat back and comfortably allowed it to continue on. So we're in full collusion with the domination that's happened here. And they're waiting for us to grow up and break down this control, this oligarchy that's running over us, ascend to a higher level of consciousness. And everything that we do here, Forbidden Knowledge, Jimmy Church, all these things that we're doing is really, we're putting out frequencies and vibrations into the universe that are going to cause ripples in space-time and alter future realities. So what she's saying is absolutely correct.
How do we help me understand this? I get having memories of the past. We all have those. Mm-hmm. Well, we should. And understanding the present, I'm enjoying the present right now, and I remember what I had for lunch today, right? So I've got the past and the present right here. And I can think about the future and the possibilities, okay, and free will. Okay, I get all of that. But to see all of that at the same time and to be able to do all of that at the same time, I don't know if my brain can handle that. I don't know. Am I not evolved enough? I mean, help me explain.
In this dimension, it's very difficult. But once you ascend to a higher level, this is where the concept of omniscience and omnipotence comes in. From some of the religious texts. It's beings that are occupying higher dimensions, and they're able to observe these different these levels of reality. In other words, if you were in the first dimension, you'd just be a line. So you'd only be able to travel one way or the other as a dot that creates a line. If you move into the second dimension, you can even be inside of a house, a two-dimensional house. But me being in the third dimension, because you're inside of a two-dimensional house, I can see through your house. I can see what room you're in. I can see if you're in the kitchen, if you're in the family room. I can see if you're in your closet. You have no idea that I'm looking at you and observing you from every different angle on that two-dimensional house that you're inside of. You think you're all by yourself in there, but I'm observing you from a higher dimension. I'm in the third dimension. So now, ergo, you move into the third dimension. Now beings in the fourth dimension can observe us in ways that we can't even perceive. And that's where you get into the whole, the perception thing, where you're talking about the past, present, and future. If you go into a tesseract, which is hypothetically a fourth dimensional structure above the third, now everything is happening at once, and you can observe it as if you're looking at me in multiple rooms in the same house at the same time, but at different times of my life, different ages, different clothing. Everything is totally different, but I'm there in all those different rooms simultaneously, and you can observe that from the fourth dimension.
See, and this is how would we progress? I guess what I'm trying to say is that's too much to deal with.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much to deal with. What about doing things throughout the day, or learning, or writing, or creating, performing experiments, learning, and all of that, and moving forward in time based on that. But if you are surrounded with the past, present, and future all at the same time, wouldn't you be consumed by that and not progress?
You can definitely be consumed by it if you're not operating at a high level of consciousness. I think to be able to even get to that dimension, your consciousness has to be able to handle what it is or the experiences that you're having in that realm. I don't think that you can even get there with the limited mindset, or a mindset that's pretty much locked on a frequency to the third dimension. It's something that happens when you also, there's another way of doing it, which Thoth talks about, which is going through a portal. So a portal is a way of looking through a window of time. So as you enter into the portal, you're looking out through this hypothetical window as you're passing through, and you're able to see things happening and occurring without actually being directly involved in them. So that might be one of the reasons one of the things that might take away some of the potential anxiety and the probability that you're being overwhelmed, because it's as if you're walking through a tunnel and you're looking and observing time from a perspective where it's not really affecting you that way. And through this portal, he sees the past, present, and future of humanity.
If going back to the paradox part of this, if we could see the future, if we knew the future, why would that matter?
Well, it matters for one thing for us because Thoth, when he saw the future, he recognized that there was going to be a threat coming from deep space to this planet Earth,
right,
to interact with humans. And he said that he hit a ship underneath the Sphinx, and the people that are wise will be able to raise it out of that hole underneath the Sphinx, basically, and fight this intruder with ease. It's just a thing where you can guide yourself towards a point or a reality that has a specific outcome. In other words, our outcome could be that we get destroyed by this visitor from the deep. Maybe Thoth is putting us on a different timeline by telling us we have the capability of defeating them or defeating it. And so just with that mindset alone, we now alter the future, or he's altered the future reality on this planet. Maybe he saw it was a different way. Maybe he saw that we were defeated. Now he gave us a tool to defeat them. So there's just so many different variables that come into play when you think about it.
Well, okay, let's, when we get into the philosophy side of this, that's where it gets a little bit dicey because everybody is so divided when we think about the philosophical possibilities. And one of them is this. I'll lay it out. We look 10,000 years into the future, and we see that Earth is perfect. Harmony, no war, no racism, no money issues, no food issues, health and everything is figured out, and it's nothing but rainbows and unicorns, right? That sounds great, doesn't it? It does. Actually, that sucks. And the reason why that sucks is we have to wait for it, right? We have to wait for it, that we've got to go through all of the, and it's a long ways into the future. So today, in the now, it'd be like, well, if we got to wait that long for it, we might as well burn this sucker down now and party, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm being serious because that would be the point of view. And then, because this is a lose-lose, let's say we look 10,000 years into the future and it's a barren wasteland, right? Barren wasteland. We're not even here. Right? It's occupied by cockroaches. Well, that sucks. So let's party like it's 1999 and let's burn this sucker down now. There's no reason to live. Do you see what I'm saying? That's so looking into the future, what would be the advantage of that? You laid out a good case. Right? Where Thoth looked into the future, there was a threat from space. He knows this is coming. He's built us a defense mechanism underneath the Sphinx, and when that time comes, it'll expose itself and we'll be able to save the planet. Okay. Right. All right. Okay. I'll buy into that. You got lucky. But let's look at the other two sides that I just gave you. What's the advantage of looking into the future? If we can't change things, then what's the advantage? Shouldn't we just live in the now and not look at the future?
Oh, well, it's two-sided. I think living in the now is very important because the only moment that truly does exist is the moment of now. And I think that a lot of people get caught up with focusing on the past and focusing on the future too much and forgetting to live in the moment of now. In other words, a businessman or an entrepreneur like myself, sometimes I've caught myself in the past focusing on working too much, working to obtain goals in the future, and missing and not smelling any of the roses. I mean, it was a 10-year period of time where I didn't even go to the beach for 10 years. And I woke up one day and I said, "What am I doing? I live 5 miles from the beach. I haven't gone in 10 years." And that's when I realized that I'm not stopping to smell the roses, and I'm focusing too much on the future instead of the now. And then you have people that only focus on the past. It's all they can think about or worry about or get depressed over or focus on. And it takes them away from the present as well. So the only moment that truly does exist for us here in the third dimension, and that's still a very fleeting moment, because when you look at somebody, when you look at a TV, your laptop, tablet, the YouTube screen, whatever you're looking at, you're seeing it in the past. Because why? It takes a little bit of time for that light, that photon, to bounce off that object and hit your retina and get to the back of your brain and to get transformed into an image. So even when you look at somebody, that moment has already left. You only can see somebody in the past, a very small amount of time in the past, but you can only see everything you're looking at in this light spectrum in the past. So, but the moment of now is the only moment that truly exists. And focusing on the future and trying to read the future and getting information from the future is not for the faint at heart. It's not for everyone. It's a very delicate thing. It's almost for what I like to call a Jedi warrior, somebody that has the capability, the power, and a pure heart that's going to utilize that information to benefit and help mankind and guide them down a better path going forward.
Well, the only reason for timepieces and watches is for organization. So we know that, at 5 p.m. tomorrow, something's going to happen and we can organize our life and get to that point, or we have a doctor's appointment or whatever, it's for organization in life. But if time is an illusion, what would happen if we took away the ability to measure time? Would that change things?
Oh, that would put everything in disorganization. Entropy would completely take over then. We're living in a universe that's loaded with entropy, and there's more entropy than non-entropy. It's very rare to find something not non-entropy. Entropy is when things move from an ordered state to a disordered state.
That's right.
And the ability for us to have a clock or a watch helps us to reduce the speed of the entropy and to reorganize again, like you said. So if we don't have the capability of judging or calculating some type of arrow of time, the entropy would completely take over, and we wouldn't even be to the point we were technologically at this moment. We'd still be probably in the cave somewhere.
Well, okay, and let's get back into philosophy for a second. If time is an illusion, and I hit people with this question all the time. If you live to 70 years old, how many days do you live on planet Earth? Do you live for 2,500? Do you live for 25,000? Do you live for 250,000 days? Or do you live for 2.5 million days? Right? Okay. And that's the question. Why? Because we measure everything in increments. Now, I'm not even going to ask you for your answer on that. But most people, when I ask them that, they say 250,000 days. I've actually had people say 2.5 million. Right?
Wow.
Right? The answer is 25,000 days.
25. Yeah.
25,000 days. That's it. That's not much. I'm 55 years old. I've already burned them all up. Man, I only got 5,000 days left. That is not much. If we take away the ability to measure days and that you were able to live your life in one big chunk without the threat of time hanging over your head, wouldn't it seem that you lived for 250,000 days?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you would be able to enjoy your life without the measurement of time on it. And that's where time truly becomes an illusion, right, Billy?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right with that. And that's really an amazing way to explain it and put it out there to allow somebody to wrap their mind around it a little bit better. One of the things I was looking at recently in reference to time was the fact that as you get older, time moves a lot faster.
Certainly does.
So the older you get, time moves faster. This is scientifically proven for you from your perspective, and from a younger person moves much slower. This is why when you're in school, it seems like it takes forever for the day to end, for you to get home. And when you're much older, you can sit on the porch, and the next thing you know, 4 hours go by in the blink of an eye.
It's the way that it is. When you're younger, this is a fact. It's a fact. Christmas took 5 years to get to you, right?
Yeah.
At my age, Christmas takes about a week and a half. It's just like, wait a minute here. You wait for your birthday when you're young. You wait. It's just forever. You make plans for your birthday. You know what you want for your birthday 6 months in advance, and you're bothering your parents about it. That's it. Today, my birthday rolls around about every 3-4 days. And it's amazing how the scale of time changes as you get older, and you really start to appreciate your time left, and it doesn't hit you until much later in life.
Yeah, very true.
Very true. And staying on this, we gotta head towards a break here in just a second. When it comes to the organization of time and the ability to measure time, how can we? And I want you to answer this as quick as possible, and we'll set this up after the break. How can we start to recognize what time is and measure it and learn to control it so that we can better appreciate our life here? I think that is one of the most important philosophical questions that are in front of us today.
Mm-hmm. I think that the most important thing to do with regards to that question is to focus on, like I said a little earlier, the moment of now, and enjoy every single, I call it every Planck unit, every small, that's just the quickest amount of time we can calculate right now, and just absorb everything, enjoy everything, unconditional love with everything, and the future will work itself out for you. I think that, being depressed, choosing to, which is sometimes not a choice, being depressed could be psychological, but being depressed or focusing on bad things, focusing on negativity, focusing too much on the future can hurt you, when sometimes we have to have a balance in our lives. We have to look into the past a little bit to gain wisdom for the future, but we also have to focus on the now and enjoy every single moment we have, because we don't have very long. We live for literally a blink of an eye on a geological time scale.
Yeah, it's a fact. That's a fact. Let's take a break right here. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Billy Carson. Tonight we're discussing Time is an Illusion. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Introducing the new Surfer Music app. Listen, Fadernauts, you know I love my music. This is my go-to for all things notes. The Surfer app is a brand new concept in music listening. Surfer is free, providing unlimited access to thousands of live streaming radio stations. Surfer is an exciting, interactive listening experience. Discovery and surprise are built right in. Surfer is your destination to discover and rediscover great live streaming music. It features high-quality audio streams,
free access to music from thousands of live streaming radio stations, unlimited listening, unlimited skipping. You get a music visualizer, and you can also select your favorite channels. Get it at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search Surfer Music or click on the Surfer banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new paranormal radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the paranormal radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the paranormal radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. This is week 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and I'm holding up the book to the camera. The links to order the book are right there in the live stream, and it's right there in the comments, and you can also go to forbiddenknowledge.com and get your book there, and also the links for Forbidden Knowledge over at Jimmy Church Radio and up in Twitter right now. Okay, now let's talk about time travel. In this chapter in the book, and this is tablet number 10, Thoth talks about time traveling. I mean, he just talks about going to different realms, finding the source, going to the end, how the universe is connected, how he has observed it. It's very complete and direct. Is he traveling right now? Is he out there traveling time?
I believe he is, because there's a song that I did with Donnie Arcade and Cruz, and it's called The Halls of Amenti. And in the beginning of the song, I do the intro where I'm speaking really from the tablets, where he says that many of the worlds he's traveled, and he's seen many men on these worlds. He sees them falling dark, into the lowest of nights and rising high into the light. And he really observes these rise and falls of civilizations on other planets. And that's just mind-boggling that this is written at this time. I mean, this guy is talking about traveling to other planets, using some type of astral projection or sending his consciousness or his light being out into the universe to travel to planets and watch civilization rise and fall. That takes a lot of time, what we would call time. But for him, obviously, it must have been from that realm, from the way he experienced it. It can't be that it's moving the same rate that we're experiencing it, because to watch a civilization rise and fall could take 25,000 of Earth years, and he's done this many, many times. Matter of fact, I mean, just the time that he spent going in and out of the halls of Amenti were 100 times 100. So that's 100,000 years rejuvenating avatar bodies, not to mention the 800 years in between, the 900 years in between that he takes to put one back in, because every 900 years he puts one in for 100 years. So, I mean, the numbers just get astronomical, that we're talking about people that are beings that are capable of living literally forever.
Why haven't we seen him, Billy?
Well, one of the things he says in the Emerald Tablets, if you read the book, it says that when he puts an avatar body in the chamber, he transfers his consciousness or his ego into the body of another one, and he walks amongst men. So he says, I walk amongst men like a man, but unlike a man. So in other words, he's an avatar. And it's something that I've been saying for so long, even before I read these tablets, that there's people out here walking around that look like humans and act like humans, but aren't probably humans. And I do believe that there's a certain percentage of people that are out here right now, you can sit right next to one on an airplane, at a movie theater, anywhere, and you wouldn't even know that this person is we're in an avatar body, but the way that they've occupied it is a totally different method than we're used to or understanding. We're trying to get to that point now scientifically, but these people are so advanced, they literally transfer their consciousness into other cloned bodies.
So you could be Thoth.
I could be. It's very possible.
I'm not joking. Okay.
No, I'm not joking either.
Okay, so would you know it if you were?
Well, I think that these tablets, the amazing thing about them, and we're going to talk about this in week number 4, the fractal holographic universe, that Thoth gets into the fact that we're living in a hologram. I think that the most amazing thing about the Mandelbrot set, which is the fundamental basis of fractals, and which make up everything we see in the third dimension pretty much, including our bodies, is that information is also fractalized. So the information from these tablets has now fractalized into my consciousness, into your consciousness, into everybody's consciousness that's reading and listening even right now. And so a fractal of Thoth has actually entered into our consciousness, it's transferred into us, and is actually operating within us at this moment. And it never leaves. So that's one of the most amazing things I believe about gaining knowledge this way, this esoteric wisdom. A part of Thoth actually enters into your conscious mind from information that he put down all those years ago, and now is operating inside of us.
Well, I believe in time travel. I believe it is real. I believe that the future is there, and we are being visited today. Mm-hmm. But Stephen Hawking laid out an argument that is tough to argue with, which is he did a time travel party. He sent out invitations and asked for people from the future to come and hang out with him, and that nobody showed up. And for him, that killed the idea of the future and time travel. And that's a tough one, so are we being visited today? And if we are, why don't we have the evidence of it, whether it's in another body or not? Certainly we would have evidence of it, and we'd be able to communicate with them.
It's very possible. I mean, there has been some time travel experiments that have been going on, sending packets of data back in time, which we've been able to successfully do in a laboratory setting through computers, through these photon lasers. So we're able to do that right now. But the point of sending back an entire biological entity like a human being may not have even occurred yet. So he may have sent letters out in an area of time space where the machine hasn't allowed people to go back that far, or nobody had gone back that far. There's so many different aspects, or they've gone back in time, but they're, like I said in the beginning of the show, when you go back in time, you end up on a totally different timeline, a parallel universe. So you can't affect the timeline that you left. And that's another thing that I don't think he took into consideration.
And you wouldn't be able to be seen as a time traveler.
Correct.
You could observe, but you can't be seen. Correct? Is that what I'm understanding here?
Well, you can observe if you're coming back in time on a different timeline, you could probably be seen. But if you're coming back in time on the same timeline, that's when I think something very strange happens with your light pattern, your photonic pattern. I think you change frequencies into a frequency range where the human beings can't visibly see you. We only have a very limited sense of vision in this third dimension as a human being, our human eyes. I think that people are doing it, and I think even animals pick up on these entities and beings from other realms and dimensions all the time. Dogs, especially, and cats. You see them jump up and look around as if they're looking or sense something, and nothing's really there. I think that they're able to observe them in some way.
Now, I understand the halls of Amenti part and being able to move into a perpetual, almost the ability to become immortal. I understand that part of it, but Thoth also talks about these portals, and in that case, he's physically moving through time and coming out on the other side as himself. He's not in another body. That's the part for me that I find the most fascinating. And if that is indeed the case, why don't we see, or what would we do if that happened? If somebody from the future just showed up, would we take it serious?
Well, the first thing that would happen right now, if that happened this moment, somebody just showed up from the future, the first thing that's going to happen, unfortunately, on this planet because of religion is they're going to bow down and pray to the entity and claim that he's the Messiah. The majority of the people on this planet will do that. Not all, but the majority will, because they've been so programmed to be waiting for some type of what they call a miracle return of an entity or a being, that they're going to probably bow down immediately. A lot of people would do that automatically and presume that it's a god. The others, like myself and you, we'll probably recognize it for what it is, an advanced being from another dimension, another time, or maybe even another planet. And we'll want to, have a great conversation. But I'm not bowing down to anybody.
Well, see, and there's also, Coast to Coast just posted a video of a time traveler, right? And this happens from time to time, no pun intended, throughout the year. There'll be a video of somebody from the future showing us a photograph from the future or some evidence from the future. And lots of this over the years. I've checked every situation out. Not to bring up every single instance of this, but when it does happen, the perception is that it's a hoax or that this person is crazy, right? Immediately. So what gets lost in translation here is if something real does surface, it's dismissed automatically, and that is the danger that we're constantly in. We don't know. We don't have a filter for what is real and what is not.
Right. Yeah, the problem that we have on this planet is human beings are both the prisoners and the prison guards. And I like to call it the Agent Smith effect, which I got that term from the Free Thought Project, where, if you're standing there talking to somebody about the Kardashians or some gossip or some reality show, they'll be all into the conversation and be very elated. But the moment that you stop the conversation and bring up something like 9/11 or time travel or aliens showed up, you can literally see the countenance on their and physically change in their face. You can see that this Agent Smith from the Matrix has now inhabited or entered into their body, and he's now turned them into a prison guard. That's the Matrix programming in full operation right before your very eyes. And then they immediately begin to berate you and try to stop you. Their attitude, their frequency, everything changes to get you to stop talking about something that challenges the status quo. And that's the state of the world that we live in right now.
Yeah, the video, it was up here on Coast to Coast, is now gone. What was I just saying? If actual evidence actually surfaced, What will we do with that? There has been a lot of examples of coins that shouldn't have existed that tend to disappear. I'm thinking specifically of a Fourth Reich coin that was discovered in Mexico that obviously there was no Fourth Reich and the date on it was wrong. And I forget what they called America, what they called the United States on this particular coin, but there was a swastika on it and it was unearthed at a construction site. Coin disappears. Right? Wow. And so where is that coming from? There was a time traveler. I could go back specifically with the story, but this was early in the 1900s in New York City. Guy shows up and he's got money and he starts explaining from a country that doesn't exist. And he says, no, I'm from this country. And I believe he had a passport from a country that didn't exist. Now,
I remember that one.
Yes. Right? So immediately, what is it? The guy gets, he's crazy. But what about the evidence of what is going on? And scientifically, why not look into this? And we don't know in the smoke screen of life now, when something like this surfaces, what is real and what is not. And the same thing, if Thoth showed up today, is he a crazy person? Forget about being a messiah or a godlike image. There's the other part of it where if it's real, we would never hear from him again.
Right. That's very possible. And the one incident that you brought up about the gentleman that showed up at the airport with the passport from a place that didn't exist in our realm, I remember that story. And one of the things that story led me into was to thinking about frequencies and vibrations of atoms, and if there is a multiverse and alternative universes there, if you have a doppelganger in another universe or another dimension, what if for a moment your frequencies matched and you switched places? And this is something that I was conceiving one day, again, walking on the beach a couple of years ago, when it felt almost as if I had walked out of this realm into another one just for a split second. It was almost as if I had a daydream while I was wide awake walking down the sidewalk at Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Right.
So immediately I thought to myself, I need to look this up. Maybe there's something there that I thought about a few years before. And then I looked up quantum walking and discovered that it's a real term. It's a real term in quantum mechanics. And it's when, exactly as I thought, when you get the correct frequency and spin rate, you can actually phase shift atomic frequencies and you can move into, or those particles can move into other dimensions and realms. And if you match, if you physically, biologically match that frequency, I believe, to another dimension, or your doppelganger in another dimension, or very close to it, maybe you're hovering at a very close range where you guys are so close that at one point you phase at the same time. You can maybe even be what they call a walk-in. So all of these things are possible. In the universe that we live in, you can't really rule out any possibility, because there's every possibility that you could conceive of can happen and will happen at some point in time. It's just a numbers game.
Yeah, I'm reading about quantum walking right here. That's what I'm going to be researching after the show. And, okay, so getting back into this vortex and alternate realities and timelines, I talked about, much like you're walking the beach, last week on the show. I'm not going to do the full conversation that I had, but in 1972, I was out in my front yard in the fields that were in front of our elementary school, across the street from our apartment building, and this was in Waukegan, Illinois, 1972, and I looked up. I'm 9 years old. I look at something, catches my eye in the sky, and up there, right in front of me, low in altitude, is a Zeppelin. A Zeppelin with ridges, not like the Hindenburg, not like the Goodyear blimp or whatever. We know what those look like, right? This is a Zeppelin with engines on the side and the ridges, and it was everything but, saying the Hindenburg on the side, right? Or swastikas on the tail. But it was clearly a rigid airship, and I watched it. It was low, Billy. It was right in front of. I could see everything. I could see the wind. It was beautiful, and I chased it across the field until it flew over the trees, and disappeared. Right. So last week, this memory comes back, and I look up rigid airships. I wanted to see what was still around in 1972, and maybe I could find out what specific airship this was that flew over Chicago, Waukegan. We haven't had a rigid airship in the Navy since 1935.
Oh, wow.
Okay. The last rigid airship in the United States was the Hindenburg. The last rigid airship to fly was the Hindenburg. The program, and that was in 1937. The program itself, after the Hindenburg, it was too dangerous, and that was it. None flew anywhere. The last one in the United States was disassembled in 1939, and that was the USS Los Angeles. And it sat in its hangar for 5 years before they dismantled it. It never flew after 1934. So, and I sat back and I thought to myself, how is that possible? I saw what I saw.
That's
how
incredible.
is, right? How is that possible? It's not going to change my memory. So what happened to me? And I postulated a lot of different things, but is it possible that on that summer day, I saw something from the past? Or did I step into the past? Or did I see a snapshot of the past?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, any one of those three is a possibility. I mean, it really could be. And, quantum mechanics and quantum physics will allow for all three of those options to occur. That's what's so crazy about. That's why I love that science, because it's so unbelievable, and it's so hard to wrap your mind around. It's very hard to get bored studying, those theories, because it opens you up to so many different possibilities, not only just scientifically, but just in life that you can apply to things and situations, problems, issues arise, business, you're dealing with your children. You begin to realize that there's always a way out. There's always a way to correct or change. There's always a logical solution. There's always a different angle to look at things when you start to really tackle the quantum mechanics and quantum physics, because it really opens your minds up and kind of takes you out of the rigid system that a lot of the people are living in right now.
Yeah, and see, I'm not unique. I'm not the only person that this has happened to. Certainly, this happens to everybody all the time. And I didn't know it when it happened. It's not like I said to myself at the age of 9, I'm time traveling, or I'm seeing something from a parallel world that has crossed over into ours, where in that other parallel world, rigid airships are still flying around. Right. Mm-hmm. And it slipped these questions don't enter my mind. It was just something that I saw in the sky. And I remembered. But today, as an adult, I go and research and find out that there haven't been rigid airships since 1935. Then you have to sit back and go, wait a minute here. What did I see?
Right.
Right. And I'm not unique. Everybody is going through this, and they don't know what is going on when it does happen. They don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't know.
Yeah, very, very true. A lot of people aren't using their intuition and sensing the different minute changes that can occur from time to time. And if they do, they kind of just glaze over it and go, okay, But I try to spend energy in noticing little things. And when I see something or feel something, I just call it a glitch in the Matrix now, kind of like from the Matrix movie.
Right.
And sometimes I catalog it in my notepad on my phone or a voice file. I got like 8,000 voice notes now, just so that I have something to go back to as a reference. But there's so many little minute details and things that can tweak and change. And if you start to really notice them here and there, you start to realize that there's something really much more going on behind the scenes. To me, it just really proves that we are living in some type of a light matrix, some type of a software program, like Professor James S. Gates. He's a supersymmetry specialist and theoretical physicist who discovered that the ether of space-time itself operates on Adinkra codes. And these Adinkra codes are actually these error correcting codes that are the same codes that are computer codes in our browsers and search engines. So our universe is running on the same exact programming that runs your search engine, browsers, and websites. Think about that for a minute.
Well, you see, and this is what's trippy, is at the age of 9 in 1972, had I had a camera, what if I took a picture of that? Right? Does the world change that day for everybody? Well, it's 1972. I didn't have a camera. I'm 9 years old and whatever. But what if I would have run in the house and said, hey, you know, and tried to find out, don't have the internet, right? Can't go and do a search, right? Yeah. So all of that stuff did not come into play. All it became was a memory. But today, if something like that is captured, or if I told my story back in 1972, I'm the headline in the newspaper, crazy kid sees dirigible over Chicago, right? And it's just a story. It's fascinating. Today, I have the memory, and I'm able to look back, and now I'm able to question, what was it? What was that event? And I'm here to say to everybody that's listening to my voice, I ask all of you just to go back in your collective memories and think about something that I just described. You know, think about that for a second, whether it's an old car or a car that didn't exist, or just something that in this reality, in this world, simply should not be here. And take that memory, take that and go and look at it for yourself to see if you have shared this exact same situation. Because I cannot be the only person. You, Billy, cannot be the only person. This must be happening to everybody on this planet all the time. Hence the question of the Mandela effect.
Correct. Yeah. That's something that's really taken on a lot of popularity in more recent times. A lot of people are starting to really, observe these minute changes that they're starting to see in different phrases and movies and shows and commercials and everything else. And at first, I was a little I don't know about this thing, but I looked into a little bit of it, and I started to realize there were a few changes that I kind of noticed myself, and I was like, wait a minute now, this is really interesting.
Well, let's discuss that when we come back after this break. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight is Billy Carson. It's part 3 of our 4-part series on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Tonight, we're talking about time is an illusion. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants
pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony. Damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Billy Carson is here. Tonight is part 3 of our 4-part series with Billy on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and his book, The Emerald Tablets, the compendium of the Emerald Tablets. The links for the book are right there in the description of tonight's show, and you can also go to forbiddenknowledge.com. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow night, Adam Curry is here for the first time, and he's going to be discussing his research into the collective consciousness and the Mandela effect, which we are talking about right now with Billy. And Wednesday night, UFO researcher and author MJ Banias is joining the show to talk about his new book, The UFO People. Tonight, it's Billy Carson. And Billy, the thing is, the way that Thoth on tablet number 10 is referencing not only time travel and dimensions, but the possibility of visiting other worlds. And one of the things, as we read through and understand what Thoth is referring to, is applying that knowledge to today and what is going on with us. And the Mandela effect is right here when we're talking about, it's something as fascinating and as you've almost got to get into faith-based reality here to understand this stuff about time and what Thoth is referring to. We have the Mandela effect and applying it to us and looking at ourselves. You said right before the break, you've had a couple of things that you had to throw question marks on. What were those?
One of them was the situation in the movie Forrest Gump. I all these years thought he said life is like a box of chocolates.
Of course he did.
You're gonna get.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched that movie so many times.
Right.
And now it's life. Life was like a box of chocolates, and I'm like, huh? And so I went and pulled it up, and sure enough, that's what it said. Life was like a box of chocolates. I'm like, when that just blew me away, because that was the first one that I found that was like, kind of jumped out at me.
Well, it's like one of the most, and certainly through that period, it was one of the most quoted lines in movie history. I said it all day long. Life is like a box of chocolates, right? We all did it.
Right.
And to find out now that really wasn't, I'm in agreement with you on that one. That was a real head scratcher. Okay, give me another one.
Another one was Sinbad. I'm in your age group, a little bit younger than you, but still in the same group. So Sinbad was huge for us back in the day as a comedian, and he was a genie. He played the role of a genie in a movie back then. It was a B-rated movie, but it was a decent movie for kids. And for whatever reason, it doesn't exist anymore. I remember it clearly.
Hold on. Sinbad the comedian genie movie. I forget the name of the movie now. Shazam. It was called Shazam. And I'd have to go back and look in my email, and I've changed email servers, so I may not have it anymore. But somebody sent me a photograph of their videotape of the movie Shazam, and also in this photograph was this person cataloged all of the movies that they had in their video collection, right? And so one of them, right, in the list was the movie Shazam with Sinbad, and then the video for it. Now,
oh wow,
yeah. I have yet to see. Now, okay, did you see the movie? Is that what you're saying? Do you remember the movie?
I remember it very faintly because it was so long ago, but I do remember it faintly that he was a genie. I didn't know it was Shazam, because the Shazam that I knew was a white kid that had got a cape, and he'd travel around in a motorhome, fighting crime. So. That was the Shazam that I remembered.
I'm reading. There's so many different. Are you talking about Kazam, the movie with Shaquille?
That was Kazam. Kazam was Shaquille, but there's another one, Shazam, which they just did a remake of. It's in the movie theaters right now. I just went and saw it yesterday, actually. Shazam, the remake, is out right now in the movie theaters.
Is that the one with Will Smith?
No. This is with some new actors and actresses that I'm not too familiar with. If you go to the IMDb, you'll see that it's let me see who's the star of this.
Well, I'm reading a thing here. It says this film categorically never existed, but its fans nonetheless claim that it did and have shared a number of details about the mysterious non-existent movie. Some even claim to remember thinking that Shazam film was a shameless ripoff when it emerged a few years later. This is known as the Mandela effect. Okay, this is an article about this. Okay, I don't want to stay on this Shazam subject, but somebody sent me pictures of it. Give me another example for you personally with the Mandela effect.
There was one more, which was I'm trying to remember which. I think it was something like a candy bar. It was the Kit Kat bar. Now I used to get the little candy bars from the ice cream truck, and I just remember that it was a hyphen in the middle. But supposedly there's no hyphen now. Now, that could be just an artistic change over time. You never know. But I remember it being Kit-Kat, like a little dash mark.
Yeah.
I used to get them all the time. That was my favorite little candy bar.
Yeah. Still one of my favorites. The white chocolate ones, the new ones. Kit Kat White. Oh, man. Okay. I just had Twix White too as well, and Reese's White. Okay, anyway.
I haven't had one in over 30 years now.
Man, I'm letting everybody know what my real diet actually consists of. Man, last night I plowed through a family pack of Nutter Butters. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh God!
Man,
no!
I couldn't stop, man. I couldn't stop. I think they put heroin. I think heroin is in there, something, and you cannot stop. Oreos double stuff, and I know. Look. And I know what this audience is so awakened and so woke,
right?
And GMOs and processed foods. There's at some point I just don't care. And when it comes to Oreo double stuff, I don't care, man.
That's where you draw the line.
I just don't care. It doesn't matter. They could tell me the long list of ingredients that are in there that are going to kill me, and I get that and I understand it, but I'm going to eat that cookie right in front of them. Just I'm gonna. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, for me, when we're talking about this crossover of realities, and you're right about the frequencies, and I want to get serious for a second. I know audio, I understand video, I understand frequencies and light spectrums and frequency and audio and what we can hear and what we can't hear. And when something is vibrating just a little bit, it doesn't matter. You have to be on an absolute certain frequency for us to see that reality and to be in that reality. One little number off, it's invisible. Right? One number off, it's inaudible. And that's just the way that life works. So you have to question yourself for a second and think, what could be alive around us? What could be around us in this dimension, in this reality, that we simply do not see? You shift off into another frequency, and there is a whole nother planet here. There's a whole nother existence here, right? Mm-hmm. But we are not on that frequency. Now, if something vibrates in from the parallel world that is clearly to the left or to the right of us, and according to quantum theory and quantum mechanics and the multi-world theory and parallel worlds, that these do indeed exist. So if something vibrates into this reality for an instant, we could see it and we could be a part of it, like the movie Shazam, right? Where the movie Shazam vibrates in, and people remember that. And they go back and they find out that it never existed, but they're saying to themselves, wait a minute, I saw it. I saw the videotape. I saw it at a video store. I saw it at a friend's house. I heard about the movie. Well, it messes with everybody's minds to think that their memories are faulty, but it's millions of people, right? It's not one or two, Billy. It's millions of people that are doing this around the world at the same time, right?
Yeah, that's millions of people. I mean, and some have been found to be like, well, maybe you didn't look hard enough, and they found something that contradicted it. But there's still a lot of these little situations that have occurred with this Mandela effect that just aren't explainable yet. So there's some that have been explained and some that haven't. But there's so many that haven't that it really makes you want to ask the question, like, what really is going on here? Is there really a glitch in the matrix? And like you said earlier, the fact of things operating in different frequencies and vibrations, in just a small micron and a 90-degree angle right above you could be an entire civilization living there, and you can't even detect them just because it's at a different frequency.
I have, when I talked about and this happened live on the air, the shuttle, the Columbia disaster, right? And what year did it happen? And I know when it happened. It happened in 1985, right? And I know, and I have my reasons for it. Well, it turns out it's 1986. And in 1986, I was in another life, compared to 1985 when I remember this happening. But that wasn't what impressed me the most. Having my memory questioned about all of this was the amount of email that I got from, and I get it to this day, I remember, it happened in my 4th grade science class, and in 4th grade, whatever, right? And in 4th grade, it was 1984. And in 4th grade, it was 1987. In 4th grade, or whatever, in 9th grade, everybody's got these they are able to tie in when they saw the disaster on television to a specific place and time. And I wasn't the only one. Now, if it's not a time slip, if it's not a parallel world, then how is it possible that everybody could have a bad memory here? I mean, how does that happen? Right. How does that happen, Billy?
Yeah, I don't know. I was in Cobalt class in the 7th grade, or 7th or 8th grade. It was 1985, according to my memory. Watching it live, we stopped our programming. We were writing this long Cobalt programming to make a balloon go up the screen. It was like 100,000 lines of code. We stopped to watch the Columbia, and it, obviously it had the disaster, which is one of the biggest things I can remember at that school. And I thought it was 1985.
And wait a minute. So you specifically remember that? Okay, no, Columbia was 2003. It was the Challenger disaster. Okay.
The Challenger, Challenger mission, the one that blew apart and went to pieces, and they never got to space.
Right.
And the teacher was on that actual.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's the one.
That was January 28th, 1986. So let's talk about this. Now I'm looking. It says January 28th, 1986. You said that you were in a computer programming class, right? I think that's what you said. COBOL. You were learning COBOL. And you're saying it was 1985 when you were taking that class, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about that for a second. What makes you so sure it was 1985?
Well, the thing about it was that the teacher at the time, he had up on the board 1985, and then he had 1986, 87, 80, 89, 90, and he was showing the different levels of like advancements of computers that how we were going to advance. And we were starting in 1985 at that particular class, and he had put up this little, I guess you want to call it this time sheet in a way that was going to show how we were going to advance between then and 1990 in computer programming. He was saying that coding was going to be much more reduced, and we wouldn't take all these lines of code to create these simple artifacts on the screen and so forth and so on. It was a very boring class. It was what do you call those? When you volunteer to take it.
Yeah, I hated COBOL programming and basic programming. Yeah, I took both of those, and I was thinking that I was going to become this, that, and I hated those classes. The teacher was great, Mr. Dragseth. This was in Panama. But let's go back to this for a second. When I tell you that the shuttle Challenger disaster was January 28th, 1986, you are telling me that would be impossible. So are you surprised by this? I mean, what does that do?
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I could be wrong in terms of maybe the time frame. Maybe it was after Christmas and it was New Year's. But I just remember him talking about the year and starting with 1985, and we were standing right there. And then he paused class and went to the launch, which everybody watched worldwide because first time a teacher was going up. And unfortunately, we had the disaster. But the fact that he was talking about where we are now and to where we're going, that's just stood out to me because, I mean, when you combine that with a disaster like that, you typically never forget. Now, I got the name mixed up with Columbia and Challenger, but
I did too.
I mean, the event itself, you never forget. And I knew who was on the the shuttle as well. So it was just pretty sad situation.
Yeah, and what do we do as our community is one thing, but to dismiss the Mandela effect, outright, isn't that a bit dangerous? Where you're telling, if we did a worldwide poll and didn't tell everybody what we were going for, Mandela effect, but just simply what year was the Challenger disaster and where were you when it happened, right? And got all of that data together, and then we find out that half of the world is a year or two off, but they have proof, right, where they were, and they remember where and how and why. What do we do to address that? Are you going to tell half the world they're absolutely nuts? Or are we going to go and scientifically try to figure out what is actually going on here?
Yeah. It's so ambiguous that I think mainstream science doesn't want to touch it. They'd rather focus on things that are more certain, that they can come up with definite approximate answers for, or theories for, that sound more sane and logical, so that they can continue to get funding and paychecks.
What and back to the Emerald Tablets. We've only got about 10 minutes left. Back to the Emerald Tablets. How can we get real versions of the Emerald Tablets and present them to the world?
I think that the real version, there's a very good version of the Emerald Tablets on Amazon. Just the Emerald Tablets of Thoth by itself, and I think it's only like $14. The same quality version, in my opinion, is also on Crystal Links, or you can go to the Temple of the White Brotherhood, which is they have a version of the Doriel tablets on that site, which is the ancient mystery school that dates all the way back to the time of the pyramid priests, and it's still in operation today. Now even has a website. It's authentic, in my opinion, after looking into it. But the one on Crystal Links and the one on the Temple of the White Brotherhood site, to me, are just as good as any you can buy, from the bookstore. And then, of course, in the compendium of the Emerald Tablets, I have the entire Emerald Tablets of Thoth in the back, untouched, unedited, not no breakdowns of any information. Just you can read it straight through.
No, I'm referring to the physical Emerald Tablets, the original set.
Oh, the original set. Oh, well, I believe that they're in the Vatican, in the Vatican archives. That's my thing. I truly do believe that the original set of the Emerald Tablets have made its way into the Vatican archives in that 5-mile underground tunnel that they got built over there, that everybody knows about, but very few people have had a chance to even go down there and see it.
And how can we coax the Vatican into speaking about this or bringing them forward? Is it even possible?
It's a very touchy situation. I mean, everything that they do and they move in, it's a very political system when you're dealing with that level of religion. They want to keep control over the masses, and the only way to keep control over the masses is to control their knowledge. So the apples, for example, that are talked about in the Bible, the apple that Eve supposedly ate and then gave to Adam, it wasn't a physical apple like that grew on an orchard tree apple. It was knowledge and wisdom. And once you tap into knowledge and wisdom, then you gain power and understanding. So what the Vatican does is they spend trillions of dollars over the last several thousand years gathering up all the information that has any possibility of giving an average person out here an alternative viewpoint to think about. Because once we have an alternative viewpoint, we realize that we don't need them or their fake system. We realize that their system has holes. We start researching it. We realize that they copied poorly copied and poorly plagiarized ancient text and converted it into their own format to control the masses. And once that happens, all their power and all their money is gone. So they've spent so much money, them and the Smithsonian, into literally trying to hide, destroy, and obfuscate a lot of the information that would give us the ability to recognize the true divinity in us and also our unbelievably incredible ancient past.
All right, let's give away some books after the break. You want to hang on and answer some questions and give away some autographed copies of the Emerald Tablets?
Sounds great.
That's what I'm talking about. Our guest tonight is Billy Carson. This is part 3 of our 4-part special event with Billy discussing his new book, The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. And so let's do that now. After the break, and I've got lots of calls on hold already. After the break, make your question to Billy smart. That's all you got to do. And make it smart. That's it. And we'll get you an autographed copy of the Emerald Tablets. How many are we going to give away tonight, Billy?
I mean, whatever you feel. If you want to do 3 like we did last time, that'd be great.
Okay, you want to do 3? You want to do 3? Yeah. You want to cut it off at 3? All right. Okay, we'll do that. I thought Billy was going to say like 10. All right, let's take a break right here. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight is Billy Carson. And we're going to open up the phone lines right after this. Like I said, just make your question smart. All right, 747-228-2051. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Listen to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Okay, I'm trying to reset the phone lines. I don't know what's going on. Billy, I'm wait. Something is wrong with the phone system. I can't believe it. Yeah, okay. Yep. I've restarted it, and it is not going active. And I did it during the break, and I thought that once I got back into the studio, it would be done. And so, okay, 747. I'm going to do this the hard way. I am going to, man, this is just bumming me out. 747-228-2051. But actually dialing that number right now isn't going to do you any good because I'm restarting the software. And I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to log out and remove that. And let's see if that resolves things. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Billy, talk to me. What's the weather like? When's the next book coming out? Where are you speaking next? Oh, you're at Contact in the Desert. What are you going to be talking about at Contact?
Contact in the Desert, I'm going to be going into the Hermetic principles again, but I'm going to go into the quantum level with it. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to talk about the relation between the Hermetic principles and advanced beings that have come to this planet, as well as how they interacted and engaged mankind, and the evidence that they have been around in the past and may still be here today.
I'm actually pulling up my passwords here. Oh, jeez. It's simply not working. Oh man. Okay. You know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm not going to do this live on the air. I don't know what's going on.
We'll double it up next week for the next show. We'll double it up. We'll give away 6 books.
And what I did was I had like 6 calls or 10 calls on hold, and I thought, you know what, that's not cool. Let's do it fresh from the beginning. So I reset, and it didn't open. And now I don't know when people are calling the number right now. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what they're listening to because I'm not seeing anything come in here. Oh man, that's it. I'm done with it. I'm done. It is so frustrating. Okay, now let's actually go here since I can't take any phone calls right now. When you wrote, and I wanted to ask you this earlier, when you wrote the Emerald Tablets, I wrote the foreword to this. And one of the reasons why I wrote the foreword was because when people go out and they're in their life's journey, they will eventually stumble upon the Emerald Tablets. And I'm sure that you did the same thing. And what was your goal in writing the book? In that, what was it that you wanted to achieve?
I wanted to achieve the ability to give people a better understanding of what they're reading. One thing that I noticed growing up, at a very young age, being given the King James Bible and reading it fluently at a very young age as well, and memorizing a lot of the verses and so forth and the prayers, I realized that a lot of the people around me that were even older than me didn't really understand what they were reading, and verbally were telling me, like my aunt and other people were saying, well, I really don't understand what this is even trying to say. But for some reason, I was able to grasp a little bit of it and put together small pieces of the puzzle. And as I got older and older, I noticed there was something I was able to apply in my life in a lot of different areas where people were a little confused about certain things. So my different way of thinking allowed me to piece things together that didn't appear to be connected whatsoever. And so that's been one of my biggest claim to fame, is the fact that I've been able to paint pictures like that about the Anunnaki and about ancient history and about anomalies in space and everything else, and kind of pull it all together. So the main thing that I realized when I first read the Emerald Tablets was a lot of people aren't going to be able to decipher this esoteric wisdom, the quantum physics in here, even the technological terminology that's being used with this ancient lingo. And I said, if I can put this together, if I can break it down and show some real world examples of what he's talking about, it may become more realistic to them and not just this fantasy book. It may seem like, wow, it's very possible that this really did exist in the ancient past, because we're just now trying to get to these same levels technologically, physically, spiritually right now. And so that was the main objective of writing the book, was just to give people the ability to be able to understand and grasp the majority of the knowledge, or most of the knowledge, inside the tablets.
And what can somebody expect when they read the book?
I think that they can expect to have their minds expanded, and a mind once expanded can never go back. And I think that their minds are going to be expanded, their consciousness is going to be ascended to a specific level, and the more they read, the more they study, the more they research, the higher that ascension will go. And I think that they can really, if they start to utilize some of the teachings in there, begin to see the ability for them to change their reality tunnel, and also learn how to manifest their own destinies.
The beginner or the novice in this world is one thing, because I think that this book is an excellent resource and a starting point for them. But what about somebody that has been researching the Emerald Tablets? Is this something that they should read?
I think so, because just like we talked in the beginning of the show, where you have people that are focused on specific areas of interest, I think that the way that I broke this down, it covers a lot of different topics. So there may be some topics in there that they never considered and never have connected to what he was saying or what he was talking about, or maybe even just a different perspective. One of the things that I like to do, and I tell people this all the time, is I like to take all information from everywhere. I've read over 1,000 books, everything from the Quran, the Bible, of course, all the apocrypha texts, a lot of metaphysical texts and consciousness texts, and I just read. I take it all in. I want all of it, because I want to be able to decipher it all, put together my own puzzle, spit out whatever insults my soul. And I think that everyone should always take information from all sources, even knowing that there could be potentially information there that they may not agree with. I look at the news from time to time, not all the time because I don't really have TV, but I do. If I go to a hotel room and I'm doing a lecture, I'll turn on the TV sometimes and I'll see what's actually going on in this real world box. And the reason why I do that is sometimes I get little tidbits of information that's actually true. It's not all false information. You have to be able to discern what's accurate and what's not, and what bases your discernment on that is the quality of your research and knowledge. So people should take information from all sources, decipher it, break it down, and research it for themselves, and figure out, how it looks from their perspective.
And see, that's the thing. When we're talking about Thoth or Hermeticism, thrice, and the way that things have filtered down through different cultures and civilizations over the years out of Egypt and spread around the world, it's like the telephone game. And when you get to, you know what I mean? Because it's interpreted and interpreted and interpreted. And we get to today, and the views of the Emerald Tablets or Hermeticism or you can go back and you've got a world divided where somebody is right and somebody is wrong, and they are going to argue and fight about these things. And when we ask for evidence of that, look at the world today. It's a world divided, about the very same news stories that you're referring to there, right? This very same news. People are fighting over. It's like, wait a minute here. Why can't we just listen to everybody and talk through this and try to figure out what's going on instead of saying I'm right and you are wrong?
That's what happens a lot in this world. You don't have to look too far. Just look at some of the comments under some posts that are being made. Some of the posts that I make on social media. You'll have a person go under the post and say that you're trying to control the minds of the people and you're trying to sway them in this way, that way. And I'm right and you're wrong, and it's like, dude, please. Nobody has all the answers. And if somebody claims to have all the answers, they're lying. All we have is a good idea of the fundamental basis of a story. And then everything else is based off of theory and conjecture and research to the best of our ability. And that's why I say the most important thing, I believe, is really to take information from all sources and try to sort it out and figure out which one makes the most sense to you. We'll probably never get 100% of the story accurate, but we can get a general consensus of what the the base storyline is. And then the things on top of it can become a little bit more ambiguous as you add on. But it's like Zecharia Sitchin's research. His research was phenomenal to me because why? Did he get everything 100% accurate? Probably not. But if you look at the fundamental basis of his research, it came from tablets that were already deciphered long before he was even born. And those tablets are the 7 tablets of creation, the Enuma Elish, and also the Atrahasis epic. That's where all the fundamental basis of the majority of his books were written from. That's the baseline. That baseline story can be agreed upon by thousands of scholars and researchers around the world. And then from there, you have some of your conjecture, your research. You try to add some information from the Mahabharata. You try to add a little information from the Emerald Tablets. You try to add a little, and you try to piece it together is what he did, try to paint a picture. Did he get it all 100% accurate? Probably not, but it's probably pretty darn close. But people will argue and fuss and fight over that as well, So it's just it's the state of the consciousness on this planet. You have people, I call them folks. That means they're fake wokes. They walk around with a glued-on eye on the front of their head, and they pretend like they know everything, and they're the end-all, be-all, and they're the best wizards, and they know all the information. But in true reality, they're just full of ego and pride and just looking to create likes and drama and even notoriety off of controversy.
Well, it happens a lot. And when I go through, this is the best advice I can give to everybody out there. As soon as I hear somebody say, I'm right and you're wrong, I check out. I check out. I can't even concentrate. I can't even listen to what they're saying. And then, so that's the first piece of advice I can give to everybody out there is listen to everything. Listen, and try to acquire the knowledge. But when you hear somebody say, I'm right and you're wrong, I'm done. I have no interest. And this is the other thing that I do. And this past week, I'm not going to say who the researcher is, but I've spent the past week every night after the show listening to this particular researcher's stuff. I agree with about 5% of it. Mm-hmm. Okay? About 5%. The other 95%, I'm sitting there listening. I'm going, nope. But you know what I'm doing? I'm listening. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm not stop. It's not, you know what, turning around and stopping that's the wrong way to you need to listen to everything. And I've been listening to this every single night over, the research over and over again for those little golden nuggets of stuff, right? And that's how you progress. There's no way I'm going to sit here and go, you know what, you're wrong, dude. I'm right. I'm not going to listen to you and shut it off. That you don't expand as a human. You don't expand your knowledge base. And that is the fundamental way to move through life. Right there. I'm telling you.
That's it. That's the key. That's the key of wisdom. Literally, what you just said is the key of wisdom. And it's ironic that you did that because I did the same exact thing you're talking about right now. And I can say I fundamentally agree with about 5 to 8% of the information. It gave me a couple of new tidbits that I went and wanted to look up, but that's all a part of the research, you know? And that's when you grow as a researcher is when you take down information from every source that you can possibly get your hand. I want it all. And one of the memes I make, I show all these books on this meme. And I go, these are the apples they didn't want you to eat. I'm going to eat them all. That's the meme I made. And then I listed like about, 300 of the books I read because I couldn't fit any more of them underneath the caption. It wouldn't let me on Instagram. But that was the meme I made. And that meme became very, very popular. And I truly have done that. I mean, I've gone through all those books. And I sometimes go back to them 2 and 3 times, and I've got you have to. There's so much information, and you can't agree with everything, but there's always something good that you can take out of something, and then you start saying, "Oh, this links with this, and this links with that, and this is how that connects." And it's just it's a shame we're progressing in some ways, but in some ways we still have a lot of growing up to do as a society. Because now inside of the conscious community, you have factions and you have people that have their own hidden agendas where they want controversy for attention and controversy for fame versus going out there and doing real research and work and try to help enlighten people. If I scroll down social media and I see something that I don't agree with, I just literally keep scrolling. Or if it's somebody that I know that has a big account that I'm affiliated with or talking to, I will send them a direct message and say, hey, buddy, I know you posted this information. For example, there was a post that was going viral about Samsung phones having the NFC chip that was really scanning your credit cards and all this other crazy stuff. And I realized that was actually fake and fraud. It was a made-up story after I looked into it heavily. And so I contacted all I have is Samsung phones. So I did a little research on myself, by the way, with one of the older ones was a Note 3. But anyway, so I contacted the gentleman through a direct message, and he corresponded with me, and we had a gentleman conversation about the situation. And he made a decision that, yeah, you know what, I think you're right. After looking into this, I'm going to take it down. Another person I contacted that had a big account, I want them to be embarrassed when it came out that this was a fraudulent thing. He decided not to take it down. He decided to keep it up. That's his prerogative. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at him. I still talk to him all the time. We interact all the time on social media. But you see how I addressed him. I didn't go up and make underneath his post and get derogatory and telling you're fake and you have an agenda and you're trying to sway to convince. This is the psychosis that we have in the conscious community. Unfortunately, right now, we have people that are looking to create this conquer and divide tactic, the same exact ones that we're trying to get away from. They're trying to reinstall it. Then they have their underlings that follow them and attack you and make negative comments and track you down and send you all these negative messages. It's just a very low vibration. I try to run away and stay away from those people as fast as I can. And when they attack me, I just tell them, you know what? Bless you and your family. I hope everything goes good for you. I wish you the best in life. And that's the best thing you can do to tell those people, because then it really agitates them, because there's nothing else you can come back to after that.
Yeah, it's hard to, and we've seen this for decades, if not millennia, which is where you have someone that is out there talking about love and light. Okay? Mm-hmm. And we can go back, like I said, throughout history and find individuals that did that. And at first it's all good, and then it turns into a negative culture and a negative message, and that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. and to create angst. And wait a minute, you can't have it both ways. You cannot do that. You cannot preach love and light and then turn out to be negative and hate everybody. You can't, it's a bad situation, and no matter what, you're going to lose, just like everybody else in the past has. And that's a very, very dangerous zone to get into. Now,
well, the majority of the people that do this, I hate to cut you off, the majority of the people that do this conquer and divide and controversy for likes, they're falling off. They can't get a talking thing. They can't speak anywhere. Very rarely see them, at a high level. And it's because of the low vibration that they spread everywhere, and they pretty much just alienated themselves from all the sources of conscious community.
And it's sad because if you, I am not a hypocrite. Okay, let me explain something very clearly. I have done over 1,000 interviews. Okay, wow. That's a big number. Okay, and if you combine all of the broadcasts that I have done, not only here or coast to coast, all the television stuff, all the stuff that I've done on other shows, all of the conferences, all of the people, the numbers are astounding. And if you collectively look at all of those interviews, all of that information, all of those authors, all of those researchers and contactees and channelers and historians and PhDs and physicists, you look at all of that, it all contradicts each other. Right? Not all of it, but the majority of in that, in 1 week or 1 month, I can have direct conflicting interviews that don't agree with. It's like, wait a minute, Jimmy, last night you had somebody that said this about extraterrestrials. Now tonight you've got somebody else saying this about extraterrestrials. Which way do I go here? Well, okay. And that's exactly the point. Go where, just collect the knowledge, listen to everything. In the end, we'll be able to figure out all of this. But in the interest of this show is to present everything out there. Get it all. Just get it all. And let's, you go back and you look at the historical record of Fade to Black, and we've got a lot, thousands and thousands of hours of archived information for you, and that's really the bottom line here. I've had so much stuff that has been so far out there and against the grain, but there are people out there that resonate with it. I may not, right? But it's not my job to be judge and jury, or yours, Billy.
That's right. Absolutely.
You can't do that.
Hit it right on the head.
No, you can't do that. You can't say that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. Here is the information. Do with it what you want to. And if you get, one little piece of something that helps you open up your mind, then we all win. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. That's exactly what it's all about.
And, I talked about this at the beginning of the show. Will the community continue to thrive? Right? Is there something that's going to just like pump the brakes and stop everything? Not really, right?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to continue to thrive. I think in the end, it'll all work itself out, because I truly do believe that at the end, unconditional love will always win.
And right, I remember, I haven't said this in a long time, but I used to say years ago that I walk around with flowers hanging out of my pockets. Right? And in a way, I was trying to speak metaphorically, but it's actually literal. That I walk around with flowers hanging out of my pockets, that's the only way to move forward. If you walk around with a negative attitude, then you don't win. And it's really the only way to look at it. Who wins with a negative attitude? Who wants to hang out with somebody that's negative? You don't get invited to the party, right?
No, they only attract the other bullies that want to be around them. The people that feel insignificant and they get the boosts from those low frequencies, Other than that, the majority of the people don't want to be around him at all.
No. And you're never going to win. You're never going to win.
Yeah.
So, okay, you've got a lot of stuff that's going on. I mentioned the programming that you're doing with Gaia. Are you working on a season 2?
Working on, there's a season 3 for Deep Space, but also working on my own series with Gaia called Knowledge for Ascension. So far there's 5 episodes written, and I'll be recording those soon, and hopefully we'll have them live on Gaia by the fall. I'm looking forward to that. I've got a few more speaking engagements, Disclosure Fest and Portal to Ascension coming up. One's in July and one's in October.
And you've got Soul Tech?
Soul Tech. I can't wait for that. July 4th. It's going to be on. We're going to be in Colorado. Me, Jimmy, the crew. It's going to be amazing. All the Fader knots. We're going to have a great time again like we did in 2018. It was amazing. I can only imagine what 2019 is going to be.
Yeah, that documentary that we shot still blows my mind watching that. When are we going to get the announcement about these energy devices? What's next?
Well, I think that right now we're getting ready to go heavily into, once the funding clears, heavily into the research aspect of it. I've got to bring on a few more executives to the corporation. I need to bring on a CFO, COO, director of marketing. I've got to put together an entire marketing team. So it's going to be a little bit of a scaffolding, like building process over the first couple of months. Meanwhile, the engineers that I have in mind that I'm looking to interview and bring on and get them in-house, building a laboratory basically in an office space, a custom laboratory. So there's a lot going on. So probably by the end of the year, we should hope to have some small-scaled items that we can, or generators that we can actually test and use, and then from there we've got to scale them up. So we have some prototypes ready by the end of the year, at least a couple of different prototypes. And moving into next year, we'd like to have some very small-scale prototypes that are propulsion-based. So we have a lot of exciting things going on now that the funding is going to be coming through, and I'm really looking to the possibility of helping to change the world, even with the propulsion devices. Imagine, we've got rockets. We're still using old technology, and one of the biggest problems we have is it's $10,000 a pound of payload to go into space. That's a lot of money.
Right.
If I can attach a device to a rocket that uses liquid propellant that can reduce the weight of the rocket by 60%, now you need less propellant to get it into space. Now I just reduced the cost of getting a payload into space using old technology. So these are some of the types of things that we're working on, and then of course, like I said, with the generators, being able to provide energy sources, not only for space, but also or even on breakaway civilizations or exploratory civilizations, but also here on Earth, they can be used. There's no difference between sending a generator to Mars or sending a generator to a third world country. Both need them. And something that can turn on and not need to be pumped with fuel and gas, and that can continue to run for an extended period of time and provide energy, will completely transform the planet and transform other planets and moons if we travel that far.
Is this something that we can expect? I've got about 20 seconds, Billy. Some major press release by the end of the year. And we've heard this before. We need you to come through. Is this how you're going to approach this?
Well, I have a very big meeting coming up here in 2 weeks in Atlanta. And after that meeting, I believe that we'll be able to sign. We already signed one major agreement. We'll be able to sign the final one. And then hopefully, like you say, but towards the end of the year, we should have a major international press release, because there are other countries involved as well.
Right.
And hopefully we're looking to get that out. If everything continues to progress on the path we're on, something major should be announced by the end of the year.
It's exciting stuff, Billy. Thank you so much for the conversation tonight. And everybody can just go to forbiddenknowledge.com. You can get your copy of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets right there. Of course, the links are up in the video description right here on Fade to Black. Thank you so much, Billy. Be safe and be well.
Thank you.
Billy Carson. Okay, so don't forget, next week will be part 4 of our Emerald Tablets of Thoth 4-part series. So you want to be here for that. Tomorrow night, Adam Curry is here. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamurian. Show is produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2019 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Until tomorrow night, right here, Adam Curry. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.